This video is all about Sekhmet and Ptah. Ptah is her sacred consort, her sacred other, her husband, if you will. But there is always an opposing force to every god and goddess. So in this case, we have Ptah and his divine opposite would be Sekhmet, and they work so beautifully together. And I'm really going to get into the nuts and bolts and in how they work with us and how we can actually embody the divine masculine, Ptah, and the divine feminine, and bring their teachings, their aspects, and our understanding of the principles for which they teach us into our everyday life, so we can actually be a successful master manifester. Because you are a manifester, absolutely no question of a doubt of that. But the issue is in our lives is we are manifesting all the time, but are we consciously manifesting? Are we bringing forth that which we want? But when you are unconscious, you start to actually, you don't realize your mind's running, and you're not actually in the zone, and you're not being aware of the potency of your divine principles, which are actually the power tools when you are like really embodying them and working with them and being vigilant that you're working with them. Once you have that, then everything starts to change. But when we're manifesting in every moment, but if we're not zoned in and we are not consciously aware, then it's all going to be all over the place, right? So all of my teachings is all about bringing this ancient wisdom, the ancient you, back online, because you don't need to learn anything. You just need to remember and go, oh yeah, there's this, that, and the other. That is why the principles were given to us. That is why the gods and goddesses of Egypt are reflective in these kind of teachings. So we can apply who they stand for and how their energy is in us. And then, of course, we become them and they become us. And that's kind of like how it rolls. So they're massive, massive teachers for us to be able to remember the principles, remember how to be a master manifester. So, of course, I'm going to bring Heka. Heka codes is the backbone of my work here as well, because the Heka codes is a alchemical formula. Intention plus action equals creation, right? That is the ancient formula. And I have kind of like arranged the three creator gods around that, which is kind of still kind of ancient teachings as well. It's not something I brought through brand new. It's ancient. Okay. So I'm just bringing it to the forefront. Sia is the god of perception. That is your intention. Hu is the god. He's the god that speaks your idea into being, the god of utterance. Okay. Hu. Okay. Now, Hu is also divine. So human, that's where that word came from, bringing the divine into physical. So that's kind of very similar to Ptah. I'm going to go back to that in a second. And then, of course, once you've applied that and you've moved through that, then you're going to move into the creation phase, which is Heka, which is that thought that you had is now turned into a thing and it's physically manifested like successfully, and away you go. So by working with these principles, can you see how the focused awareness is going to give you a different outcome to that of just winging it? You know what I mean? So it's like that is what this is all about. So now, like Ptah is I'm going to go through what Ptah stands for and who he is, so you can start to feel that out in your being. And I'm guaranteed there's going to be connection. And then when I weave it in with Sekhmet, you're going to go, yes, okay, we understand, right? And this is not about learning; it's about remembering. So where I teach these ancient wisdoms, where I kind of come alive in the temples of Egypt, I also teach and share kind of like different ascension ladders in Avalon. But the tablets of light tour in Egypt is like where Heka comes alive, because Heka is magic and medicine in the Egyptian understanding. So when we go there and I'm teaching this and sharing this with you, remembrance, memory, recall, everything switches on. Christmas tree lights, because I have taken you back to the source of the stream, meaning the last time you were there, you were successfully manifesting. You understood what it is to work with the principles and effortlessly bring these ideas into physical form, right? So when you come back to the very, very place of the mystery schools that you were once in back then, and Marie's bringing you through this frequency and channel and reminding you on all of these things, it is so powerful. It's exponentially life-changing. So that is why everybody that walks through the tablets of light tour and goes back to the temples in this way, it's a no-brainer. Once you know, you can't unknow. And that is what the beauteous thing about the Heka and these templates, if you like, these divine masculine templates that help you land your creations into. That's why they are so powerful, because they're ancient and they worked very well back then. They were even used to create the world. And I think, you know what I mean? Not bad manifestation. Do you know what I mean? That there's stuff going on in the world, but you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's move into Ptah. Okay. Ptah. He is a creator god. He is the original. I call him the OG. So there's lots of creator gods, okay, but there are ones which are kind of like the that were there before the beginning of time, right? So you have Ptah, who is up there with Amun and is up there with Heka, actually, before the world even came into being, right? There was them, right? And Ptah is very much about the principle of mentalism. It's about really understanding that everything comes through the mind, first of all, because you have to be able to see it and vision it to be able to speak it. You can't explain something unless you've got a vision, right? Isn't that interesting? So that's what he brings forth. You've got to have and you've got to have a very clear vision. This is where unconscious manifestation is versed with conscious manifestation, being very vigilant about your thoughts and what you see and what you vision. Are you on the highest timeline? If you are, then you proceed through the alchemical formula, right? So Ptah, he's a creator god. He's an architect. He's also a craftsman. His craftsmanship is his thing. He creates brand new realities. So no wonder he's come in like woof now. He's like, right, now you need me to sit next to my wifey and we're going to do this. So he creates brand new realities. And then what he does is to do that, he uses his voice. So he uses it by speech, speaking, by vibration, okay? But it comes from his mind, first of all, and then comes from his voice, and then out you go. You know what I mean? You start to kind of like run with the creation frequency. So now to just like, that's the bigger picture of like, you know, the Ptah understanding, like, you know, very, very simple entry into this. So Ptah now wants us to look a little bit deeper now, because if we're trying to create a reality, where could it be going wrong? Well, think about it. What words are coming out of your mouth without you being vigilant, right? You might be always talking about problems. You may always be talking about how you're losing. What about talking about winning? You know, it may be talking about like, you know, just maybe talking about people, talking to people about the wrong things. I don't know, but it's almost like being vigilant about the words that you speak. Right. So when you are in your good frequency and energy, obviously your internal reality, good words are going to come out your mouth. You know, kumbaya, peace and joy, man. Do you know what I mean? But when you're unhappy inside, you're going to be like, oh, my back hurts. Oh, I ain't got enough money in the bank. Oh my God, woe is me. Do you know what I mean? And of course that goes out there. Now I'm just going to chuck in here as well, because the I am prayer is one of the most powerful prayers. And I use it for massive transformation when it comes to the mental alchemy. Okay. So like, how many times do we say, oh, I am so tired. I am so fat. I am so poor, whatever it might be. You're praying every single time you say it. So vigilance on what comes out your mouth. If you say something by accident, say it out loud, cancel, delete, and then correct your prayer. Okay. So I say that all the time. I am feeling happy, joyous, you know, or if you don't want to say the I am prayer, so that I feel depressed. That's much better than saying that I am. So anyway, just to bring it all in, you understand that for you to create a new reality, like Ptah did it with his words and his voice. So be very, very heartful and mindful about what comes out here into the world. Okay. Very, very powerful. So simple, but very powerful. Now let's move into Sekhmet. Okay. Like I say, this is just taking the milk off the top, skimming off the top, as it were. You know, so now let's go into Sekhmet. So we know that she's the goddess of destruction, goddess of war, actually, but that's the destruction phase, meaning like, you know, she's like, we're not in war really. I mean, like, well, I suppose we are. We're always in war with our head and heart. So she cleans up the distortion. She cleans up the chaos because she's an upholder of Ma'at, right? So she is Ptah's enforcer. So what she does is she protects the order of Ptah by clearing up all the shadow and darkness. That is why she says, feed me. She hunts. She sniffs out darkness and then she consumes it, and it goes into the belly of her flames, or the flames in her belly, and it just consumes, right? Which is why she's saying, bring it to me, give it, don't hold on to that, because you are Ptah that she wants to enforce, because you're the creator, you're the master manifester. You know what I mean? You are the one that is bringing timelines, like brand new timelines through. You're creating new realities, but you can't create new realities if the land that you're going on is like is geopathically stressed. And what I mean by that, ground energy is all wrong. It's bad, 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 bad. House on wobbly bricks, not good. So if you speak about Sekhmet, she comes in, she's got to clear that out the way for her man, because her man's creating worlds and he's the architect and he's bringing things into being. They work together like that. So he can't do what he does without her. And she can't do what she does in a way without him, because she's got to land it, like, you know, by transmuting all the chaos and going, there you go, bringing order and peace and serenity and balance, right? And that's when manifestation really occurs. So in a way, he's an as above, she's below. So in a way, that's beautiful, is it not? Because it's like, you know, the creation codes are coming in and they're landing down. Sekhmet's going, right, I got you. Oh, hang on a minute. I need to clean some streets. Okay, now you're good. Right? So if you look at the two very practically, it's very, very powerful. We get out of our drama, out of our story. And when we connect with Sekhmet and Ptah, they show us, like, just do that. And it's going to be very, very simple for you, you know? So now, basically, what her message is here is it's creation not challenged by chaos. Creation not challenged by chaos. Where in your life do you experience chaos, right? That's a very, very simple, great way place to start. You know, if you are wanting to bring through your manifestations, like, where exactly do you think that your streets are a little bit dirty? If you are, like, for example, okay, so you're trying to bring an idea through and you're trying to land something really, really powerful. If you are averting the very thing that you're trying to pull in, then of course, you know what I mean? That's a form of chaos. So if you are saying, yeah, I want all of these things to happen to me in my life, but I'm going to stay in the back of the cave and I'm not going to take risk, because magic is when risk is at play, that's when magic kicks in, alchemy. But I'm not prepared to come out of the cave and get that far, but I want you to bring everything to me. You're operating from a place of fear and repulsion, and you're hiding. Yet to have your gifts, your ideas come into things, you've got to be out there in full receiving mode, right? So that's the difference. So what will happen with your creations, if you're coming from a place of I don't deserve, or I don't want to get out of the cave, or I'm not willing to step out and meet spirit halfway and take a risk, if you're not ready to invest in yourself, then what you're actually saying to the universe or Ptah is, I'm not investing in myself. I'm not investing in this. So the universe will read the energy and go, oh, well, that's what we're doing then. Okay, so we're not investing. All right, great. Pull it all off the table, right? That's the simplicity of it all. So now at this stage of the game, in a way, where are we on the alchemical formula? We're in action phase. We now have Ptah who's saying, hey, I want to come into land now, and I want to bring it to Sekhmet. Sekhmet's got your back. You know what I mean? You're not doing this on your own. Clear the street, pitch up. There's nothing to be fearful of taking these risks, because you will always be okay. You will always be okay. If you're watching this video, you got this far, you didn't die. Do you know what I mean? So, like, full steam ahead. So that is basically where we create sabotage. We say our sacred yes and our sacred no at the same time. Decide. Get your duckies in a row. Where's the distortion? Where's the chaos? Where is all of that in you? Have Sekhmet clear all of that out, because you want to be in full receipt of Ptah. So that eventually, once you start to get these two frequencies going, Ptah's got your back, Sekhmet's got your back. You just know, right, okay, we're actually working together here. How can any of this go wrong? Because I have the tools and I have the support from Ptah and Sekhmet and my higher being to clear everything up in the street. So, you know what I mean? So now, just to finish on this video, to really, really bring home as to why Sekhmet and Ptah are very much in our space right now, because it's always very indicative. Ptah's been working with me for about 2 years, but only when the time is right do they come in like a massive surge, which happened a few days ago, that they're like, right, now it's my turn to step forward. And I knew that I had a changing of the guards, and a changing of the guard you will experience when it's end of cycles. And we're going through it right now. So now I've got a certain set of guides are stepping back, and now Ptah stepping in. So why would he be doing that? Because he's now joining Ptah, Sekhmet, and Nefertum. Nefertum is their child, their son, okay? And as always, there is always a triangle, a pyramid, okay? I know, I realize that's the Illuminati. Let me change that. Cancel and delete, okay? But you know what I'm saying? Let's do that. Is that also bad? I don't know. But anyway, I'm like high vibes. I'm like Egypt the whole way. So like this, okay? So now at the top there, you know what I mean? Like that connects to spirit. And then the bottom of the pyramid there is grounding it into the earth. So that's one very, very powerful symbol to actually back up these creation codes we're talking about. But now let's talk about the sacred trine, okay? The twin flame triad, right? So we have Sekhmet, Ptah, makes sense. Their child, Nefertum, beautiful completion, or beautiful one, okay? Completion. There's the clue right there, okay? Now he is also an architect, because like I have said, he's he's Imhotep. Imhotep was also Thoth, but like, you know, and Thoth was a doctor, Imhotep was a doctor. I mean, God, the cross references, right? But my point is basically through Ptah and Sekhmet, and then we come to Nefertum, who is like the beautiful completion. What do you need to know? Do you know what I mean? There you have it, you know. So it's like that is why we always work with these sacred trines, because you'll have a sacred trine in Osiris and Isis and Horus, Set, Nephthys and Anubis. You know, when you start to work with these ascension ladders, if you like, or these symbologies or these aspects, you'll start to understand and feel a lot more empowered in your manifestation abilities when you work with the principles, because we weren't supposed to be winging it. This is why they're here. So I do hope that this helped you in some way, because I know it's helped me. And just going back to the Tablets of Light tour, we are marching. We're going on the 9th to the 19th of May, and that is 2025. And we already have a beautiful crew of Starseed members coming already, old family reunions. And also on that, this tour coming up, I can definitely feel it is actually full creation codes. It's directly related to abundance. It's directly related to our skills of manifestations. So that is the codes that we're going to be working with from this next tour. This year that when we were in Egypt, it was all about the twin flame union. And in a way, this is kind of that as well. But this next one coming, all about the abundance, man. So be there and receive it. And I hope that this will open the doorway for you joining me in Egypt. But anyway, as always, peace. And I will speak to you on the next video. Thank you for watching.